right.
Why does this never work?
So we are we doing the spotlight?
Every single week, this little spotlight blows up on me.
I see it on. I see. All right, it's on there. It's on there.
It's on there.
It's on my screen. I have the panels on my input number 3 too.
Oh, I didn't have the screen on that. Okay.
We're good. I'm on my.
Oh, this is actually perfect. Now what? Now do you see it also now?
No.
Give it a second.
Well, you're in the
Oh wait,
slide.
the slide.
You know what? I didn't expect to hear you while that. Nope. I might have to get this picture.
Okay, so get your screen in front of the camera.
Yep, now it's Austin.
Now it's Mike.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good.
Woo!
Doing our intro.
All right.
Slide it up.
So I'm gonna try to do picture in picture to see if I can. Because if I switch over and I don't hear your audio, I'm gonna have to try to do picture in picture. So I might learn how to do picture in picture real fast tonight.
I mean, the audio should still be the same regardless of the screen you're on, I think.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah, because the pictures, that's just, all it's doing is controlling the video, not the audio.
All right, you can.
What? Oh, you want me to turn myself off?
But traffic? Should I be muting it or what? Do I need to mute it?
Hey, Rooted.
What's
we are
up?
live. I think some of you, we're getting reports so you guys could hear some audio over the countdown. So I think, was it Theo Dan that said that?
Yes, Theo.
Theo, so thank you, Theo, for being on the trigger, ready to go, ready to watch Rooted Live. He's here for the show.
We were.
Very cool.
What's up, everybody? Got Dan in the house doing tech. You got it, Dan?
I don't know. There we go.
Yes.
He's running around trying to turn screens on and things like that.
We're doing a full live test.
Dan's working hard on not only, hey, there we are. I can see us now. So Dan not only is getting all this ready for live stuff, but he's also working so that this place is ready to go when you guys get back. So we're just a couple more weeks away. We are praying that next week will be our last week doing this online, and that we can be back together in 2 weeks from now. So stay tuned for more information on that, but we'll be, if we can get back together, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
We are ready for the lockdown to end.
Absolutely. We got lots of fun stuff for you guys. We won't be, wrestling on the floor and doing wrestling mats or
Right.
Cola Wars or anything like that.
If you
right
keep
now,
hearing
but
a thud, it's just my mic falling off of my shirt.
Dan
like
is
30
fine.
times.
Dan's fumbling things.
It's
All right, great.
horrible.
Well, all right, we're gonna get right to it here because I always keep you guys longer than I say I'm gonna keep you. We want to make sure we get through everything tonight. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a couple of senior spotlights, which I actually do have ready to go this time.
Yes.
They tried to mess me up, but they actually are going. Hey, there's Michael Channel. So we got a senior spotlight. We're gonna do a lesson here with. I guess Michael Channel's up there, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Michael. So here's Michael Channel, everybody. Michael's actually in Atlanta right now because for those of you guys who don't know, his family's in the midst of moving down there, which we are very saddened by. Everybody gives a collective aww. What softens the blow is Michael is leaving us anyway because he's graduating. But congratulations, Michael Channel. Hopefully you're watching, big fella. If not, well, hopefully you'll watch at some point. But anyway, we love you. So Michael plans for the future, plans to attend Kennesaw State University to major in computer science and minor in music.
Yes.
He almost sounds like a smart kid. Look at that.
That's quite a
Close.
combination,
It's
man.
what it is,
Computer
it is.
sci and music.
I think it's pretty sweet. It's pretty
It's
sweet. I actually was texting with him yesterday, and he said he's actually already doing like some online class stuff, kind of trying to learn some of these things on his own to get ready for it. So pretty cool. He's already moving that direction. His advice for underclassmen is take advantage of every single opportunity that comes your way. Make time for your friends and family. Stay in God's Word and choose friends who are also in God's Word. Try to have fun in your daily life. So kind of a laundry list of advice there, but some really good stuff there.
Good stuff, Michael.
Good stuff, Michael. And favorite Bible verse is Romans 8:28, very fitting right now. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to His purpose. The thing to remember about that is that last phrase right there. We don't like how it ends, but according to His purpose.
That's
right.
right.
So,
That's right.
according to His purpose. This has all been awful. We hate this, but things will work out according to His purpose. All right, next up, Austin Nelson, ladies and gentlemen. Austin Nelson. So maybe. Oh, I need to change it.
There he is.
I'm thinking Dan's controlling it. That was me controlling.
That was not me. That was
We
all
are not
Pat,
a well-oiled
guys. That was
machine.
all
That was me.
Pat.
That one was me.
That is.
So Austin Nelson, congratulations, buddy. Class of 2020. Austin Nelson's graduating. Austin plans to attend Cedarville University in the fall.
All right.
Although his major is undecided, he will continue praying for the Lord's direction on what he should study. So the things I love about that is, one, that Austin fell in love with Chinese ministry so much that he decided to go to college there just to stick around. And then he just fell in love with the place, doesn't want to leave. But also, hey, he doesn't know exactly what he's studying yet, but he's praying for God's will. So we'll be praying for you as well, Austin. That's a big
Fun
big
fact, Cedarville's football team is undefeated right now.
Excellent.
Since I don't know what year, Ed Dunning can tell us what year, but they're undefeated
Yeah.
since they don't have a football team anymore.
Wait, do they have a
This-
football
They
team?
had one a long time ago. Now they just have soccer.
They don't have a football
they,
team.
they don't have American
Yeah,
football.
nobody's playing football right now.
If you don't play, you don't get beat.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right, see?
That's a good strategy. Some of you at home have that strategy. I just don't play so I don't lose. All right, Austin's advice for underclassmen: get involved as much as you can, especially the events in the summer like Chinese ministry, camp, and our summer missions trip. These will grow you tremendously as a Christian and will certainly help prepare you for your future. Thank you for that plug, Austin. Attaboy. All right, and favorite Bible verses, Romans 12:1-2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. great verses, life verses right there to live by. So Austin, congratulations, buddy. We love you. Michael, Austin, both of you guys are awesome. You will be sorely missed. So
good job, guys.
good job. You made it. You made it. Okay, sweet. So, all right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to jump in to our topic a little bit here. The way we're going to do, we're going to split our topic. I'm going to introduce it and talk about our key for tonight. Just a quick reminder what we talked about last week, so we can build on it this week. And then I'll set the stage for this wise man over here, this sage
Wise
of wisdom.
old man.
So I'll set the stage. We'll talk about our topic and kind of get you guys thinking about what we're going to talk about and the importance of it. And then we're going to jump into a game that actually I've got set up for Dan, and Dan's going to jump on screen. We're going to do Dan and John on this game, which we'll explain to you shortly. And then at the end there, we'll let John wrap up our message with a little bit of practical, down-to-life application.
This will be a
and
fun
then,
time.
lastly, we'll do the Zoom calls. And as you guys know, Zoom calls over the last couple of weeks have been the same information. So use the same dial-in information that you've been using. We'll plug you in your breakout rooms as soon as we can. And then we'll roll. We'll have some fun. So. All right, so we're in this topic about the family, right? The family unit. You guys have been around your family a lot and likely driving each other insane. Even the best of families right now is driving each other insane sometimes. So definitely a challenge, but it's just been interesting because, God instituted the family before he instituted the church or any other entity. The family, the home is where it starts, and my wife's actually looking at getting a sign for our house. I think she wants to put in our laundry room. I've been doing some work in the laundry room. It's
okay. I thought you were going to say because she spends most of her time in there.
Yeah. I'm making a nice laundry room so that it won't be such a pain to go in there maybe. I don't know, soften the blow a little bit. But the sign says that the most important work you'll ever do is inside the walls of your own home.
That's cool.
So important. So we're talking about the home, and we got a battlefield every time we step foot out of our doors. These teens, you guys are up against it. Trying to learn who you are, and the world and the people around you constantly just attacking and tearing you down and trying to pull you into sin, pull you into wrongdoing, and pull at your identity. And so the home needs to be a place of safety where you can grow in grace, right? Provide each other grace and a place to grow in your spiritual walk. We talked about the fact that we need to change the conversation. That was our topic last week. Change the conversation. Start talking about God in your homes. Spend time with God and make him central to what you do. So that you can all get on that fight together, right? Some of you you're all wrestling with our relationship with God. You're either in love with him and just trying to fall in love with him, or all the way down to the people who are maybe denying and wrestling with his very existence. We know you guys are all over the spectrum here watching. But the point is, you are wrestling with the existence of God and your relationship with God, his relationship with you at some level. And we are all doing that together. We've got to give each other grace to do that. So change the conversation, talk about God. So here's our second key. Our second key this week is going to be to serve one another in humility. If we want to have a successful, strong home as a home base that strengthens us and grows us so that we can go out into the world and make a difference for God's kingdom, we've got to change the conversation to talk about God and make him central, and then we've got to take the next step of serving one another in humility. All right? So the stage that we're looking at is Mark chapter 9, verses 33 through 37, okay? Mark 9, 33 through 37. I'm not going to read through them for the sake of time, but I'll tell you what was going on. As they're walking, the disciples are with Jesus, and they're walking through the towns. Jesus is doing his ministry, doing his thing, and he hears some kind of whispers. He hears some murmuring going back and forth, and maybe the whispers are getting a little more heated. And he turns to the disciples. He says, "Hey guys, what you talking about?" Right? You ever had your dad do that? You ever had a guy, like your dad or your boss or whoever, your wife?
Oh yeah, called you down. Sure.
Hey, what you talking about over there? And so he says that, and they kind of get a little nervous.
Nothing.
Nothing. Just talking about that last miracle you did. No, they're arguing. They're arguing about who they believe is going to be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. They're walking around with the Son of God who is working miracles, saving the world, right? And They're arguing about their place in God's kingdom, saying, I'm going to be next to Jesus. I'm going to be next in command, right? The audacity of these men, the grace that Jesus showed them to bring them along and disciple them and to save them, and yet they're talking about their own position, right? But isn't that so typical of human nature, though, right?
Yep.
My daughter, my 2-year-old daughter, will fight and argue with my 9-year-old daughter, who is not afraid to fight back, about the color plate they're going to use, right? They got these plastic plates. I want the pink one. Well, I want the pink one. I had the pink one first. Are you kidding me? It's built into our nature to say, me first, and to take what we want. Jesus turns and condemns, just puts them in their place. He tells a parable, not in Mark, but in other Gospels at the same time. He tells them a parable about someone who was invited to a great feast with a king. And he said, when you walk into that feast room, you don't go and sit yourself in the chair right next to the king or to the master, right? He said, no. You don't do that, because you do that, someone more important than you is going to come along. He's going to say, hey, buddy, you're sitting in my seat.
There's always a bigger fish.
There's always somebody, right. There's always somebody. You always got a boss. You always got a bigger fish. And be like, hey, you're sitting in my seat. So then he's going to embarrass you and shame you and send you down to where you actually go. He said, instead, go to the least seat. Go to the bottom seat. Sit yourself down at the lowest seat and let the master say to you, hey, no, come up closer, right? Let him exalt you. And he says, in my kingdom, he says, the last shall be first and the first shall be last. He says, so humble yourself and God will lift you up in due time. That is God's promise to you. This is God's way. It's the opposite of our way. And it is the way that God is imploring us and commanding us to live. In Romans 12, chapter 10, he says this. This is an amazing verse. I never really got it quite, the King James, the language, I didn't really quite get it, and I saw it in another version by somebody who pointed this out, and they said a different word, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And then I started looking at the Greek meaning of the words, and I understood that is what this is saying. So what he says is, he says in Romans 12:10 that we are to, as the body of Christ, to honor, he says, in honor, preferring one another. I thought that I was looking at it as two things. You honor each other and you prefer one another. Put other people before you. Yes, but what that actually is saying is honor is ascribing value to something, showing how valuable something is. And preferring, that Greek word there, is actually saying to lead or go out in front, to lead in something, to go out in front, right? It paints the picture of a competition. He says, in the honor that you're giving to one another, he said, lead each other. Push to go ahead. It creates this competition in essence of outdoing each other in serving. So if I'm going to look at John and say, I want to show you how valuable you are to me, I'm going to serve you and do something for you. I ought to do it in a way that says, I'm going to outdo him and I'm going to serve him, and he's going to say, no, I can do you one better. And I'll say, no, I can do one better. So we're both like competing in serving one another. Like it's completely backward.
Yeah, when you were talking about that, I was thinking you're literally making a choice to honor that person above yourself. Prefer to defer. You're deferring your own interests, your own selfish wants, and you're putting in their preferences, their needs, their desires ahead of yours.
You heard it from the wise old sage. Prefer
I
to
just
defer.
came to me
Write
right
it
now.
down. Write it down. You came with that on the spot?
Seriously,
deference,
preference, and deference, right?
This is
look it up.
Look it up. Write it down. You know, it's look it up online. It's gonna say John Litzau next to it. That's genius. That's why I keep this guy around. So absolutely, that's what we ought to be doing. What if our homes? Here's our last week was change the conversation. This one I'm going to say change the competition. Okay? Change the conversation. Now we're going to change the competition. So instead of fighting for I want what's mine, how many times do you hear in your home, that's not fair? Oh my goodness. With little kids, if I hear that's not fair one more time.
Seriously, that's what I hear all the time.
It's go to work. Adults, that's not fair. Go to church, that's not everywhere. We still say it as adults, it's not as kids, but that's not fair. And that's all we're saying is that I deserve what's best, right? So it drives me crazy, and then again, it drives me crazy, and I do it with my own attitude. I'm not absolved from that. But instead of competing for that, what if we competed to see who could serve the other person better? Who could love the other person better? Who could serve, who could honor, to ascribe more value to the other person? What if that was the competition, the attitude in our homes? How would that turn things on its head. And I'll tell you, if this is God's command for us to do in the body of Christ outside of the home, then it's got to be that much more in the home. It needs to start in the home rather than we got to stop giving our best to people outside the home and then giving our worst to people at home.
Right.
We need to start it at home because they say that people in your house know the real you.
Yep.
Your character is what you are when no one's looking.
Yep.
So when you're at home and nobody sees you, your family knows who you really are, right? And if that's out of line, if your family's seeing something, then maybe you ought to check it rather than saying, well, other people outside think highly of me. Well, they don't see the real you. So start at home. Start at home and start exercising humility. We're going to talk about some ways of how. Exercise humility. Put yourself in the lowest seat. Compete to honor one another and serve one another, and watch how that will change your home and will change you and will set your entire family up for powerful success for God's kingdom in this world. Absolutely incredible.
Awesome.
Last thing I'll say before we jump to the game is write down to read Philippians 2. Read Philippians chapter 2. This is Jesus Christ being the ultimate example of humility. It says that he humbled himself unto death, even the death of the cross. Right? And he did that. He humbled himself and submitted to the death on the cross, submitted to God the Father's plan, all so that he could honor us, to give us what we don't deserve. And that insanely unfathomable grace is what should give us the ability to show grace to others, because we don't deserve that grace. So let's just give grace to other people that don't deserve it either, right?
Yep.
Incredible thing. So we'll talk more about it. But first, we're going to jump into a game here. This is going to be fun. I'm going to get to watch for this one. So what we're going to do is you can't see them right now, but there are some bags down here in front of the table. We're going to play, it's called Box of Lies, but we'll call it Bag of Lies.
Bag of Lies.
You bag of lies.
All right,
I hope my wife never calls me that, you sack of lies.
I'm all right. So the soundboard guy's coming out.
All right.
Dan is coming out from
You
behind.
good?
Put it
Put it on
See what
autopilot,
happens?
man.
Come on back.
Drew
Dan's gonna be
Bronner,
here,
if we
and here's
lose
what's gonna
it,
happen. So
give me a
I've
phone
got-
call.
I got this board right here, okay? I've now put this board between, so as Dan sits here, you can't really see it, but there's a board blocking their view. They can only see each other, okay?
Can you guys
They
hear
can only
me?
see each other. So
Mark,
what they're
if
going
you
to do
can
is they're
hear
going to
me.
grab a bag, and neither of them know what's inside the bag. They're going to pull the bag up here, keep it on this side of the board so that the other person on the other side cannot see the board. They have to open the bag, look at what's inside of it. They'll show the camera, but the other person will not see what it is. The person holding the item then has to describe that item. And they can choose to either tell the truth and describe the item they're holding and looking at, or they can lie and describe something entirely different that they've contrived, and the other person has to guess if they are lying or telling the truth. It is really that simple. Whoever
It
can
will be.
guess the line or the truth the most gets the most points and
All right.
wins. So
Thank you.
let's get rolling.
Let's
Dan,
go.
Come on,
I'm
bro.
just not
go,
making sure
man.
they can hear
Get
me
up here, man. Dan's got
because
his big chance to be on
I
screen.
can't
and
hear
he's-
myself.
You can't hear yourself?
So
Do you need my mic?
I know I can hear them. They said they can hear me, so that's good.
They can
All right,
okay.
sweet.
I just wanted to
All
verify.
right, let me get the stuff out of the way, my stuff out of the way here. All right, I'm going to zoom this camera in just a little bit for you guys so you can see better. And then,
What's up, guys? If you hear a big old thud, my mic
we're
fell off
gonna
my
roll.
shirt. It's like falling off 4 times.
Okay, so we're going
Luckily,
to
I
zoom
had
in
it
just a
muted.
little
Wait,
bit.
are we shaving your head?
Man, I wish we could. I really want. We don't have enough. We don't have enough subscribers.
Oh,
They got
we gotta
subscribe.
get
Okay.
there.
All right, here we go. I'm going to
I
zoom
would like
in.
100 subscribers so we could do
Okay,
our own
so
personal
let's
YouTube
go,
channel. That's
uh,
just what I'm saying.
Rock, paper, scissors. So you goes first, real quick.
Let's go.
All right, ready?
You can look up on the screen
Wait,
and do it. You
okay, ready?
This is awesome. Fire. Oh, fire wins.
Fire, what?
Fire wins.
That was-
Lizard Spock.
what? What are you talking
What's
about?
going on? All right, Dan, just for that, you go first.
I go,
All right, Dan, grab a bag.
grab a bag.
Grab a bag there, brother.
The bag. We got.
They can't see you. so
Wait,
just
oh
grab.
yeah, I can't.
And
we got.
We got to keep moving. We got to keep
Gotta
moving.
move it, move it.
Oh, dude, that hurt my back.
Okay.
It's heavy.
All right.
Oh man.
Here's item number 1.
Wait, I
All
gotta.
right, so you're
I
gonna
gotta
have
make
to,
sure
You're
I.
gonna have to turn off that much so John can't see me
I
on
won't.
the screen.
I won't look. I'll look only at you.
Oh, that's true.
I'll,
So turn
I'll
off
look
the
only
monitor.
at you.
One
All right.
1 minute. Uno momento.
It's
right.
all right. I can.
How do I
can-
turn that thing off? Just hit the.
Just hit.
I cannot. I'll only look into Dan's eyes. All right. It's
There we go.
on.
All right, it's off.
You're good.
All right. Oh no, we lost
I'm not
everything.
gonna look up there
I'm just
either.
kidding. We didn't lose everything. We're good. I think. Check.
Nope, you guys are still on the screen.
Still
We're
on the
good?
screen.
You're still
All
on the
right.
screen here. All right, okay,
good.
still going. Okay.
All right. As long
let's
as
go.
we're good.
Let's
All
go,
right,
Dan.
let's go. Let's go.
We're burning daylight.
Don't
All
let me see.
What
it.
is? What is?
All right,
What?
pull it out.
This is can't. Wait. There's.
right, pull it out.
Don't let me
No,
see.
just ignore the candy. I don't know how the candy
What?
got in there. Okay, turn
What?
turn that for the candy. That wasn't part. That's not part of it. All right, show the camera there.
Do you see this, guys? If you can see this, throw a thumbs up throw a thumbs up right here. You see this beautiful
No,
thing?
just
You should
describe.
never do this to this. This is unholy.
It is.
This is unholy.
It is pretty bad.
I just can't. It's. Oh man.
All right,
this
describe
is-
it.
Oh, this one has gender issues.
Okay.
Let's see.
Here, hold it up a little bit. I'll zoom in on it a little bit. All right, go ahead and describe.
You see it, guys? All right. So there's.
Hold it up a little higher.
It's got some American type colors.
What are
He's
Americans?
loved. He's owned. He's a beloved superhero,
Okay.
but he does turn evil. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
He's a beloved superhero that does turn evil.
It looks like this could be a 90. I don't know.
The beloved superhero that turns evil wearing a nightie? Is that what
I
you're
think
saying?
this is what. Yeah.
All right, look John in the eyes and tell him that.
Give me the whole thing.
All right, so this is like a beloved superhero.
Okay.
That turns evil. That has he might have a 90. I don't. No, it's here.
All right, John.
Tootsie
All
Roll.
right, is he-
I say true. You are telling the truth. Yes or no?
Show him. Show him what
yeah.
you got.
Yes,
It's
Iron Man. Oh, we
wearing a
just
dress.
watched Iron Man 1, 2, and 3 over
Iron
this
Man
last
doesn't
week.
actually turn evil. But,
Yeah.
Well,
Why is he evil? Because he's wearing an apron?
I'll try and forgive you for that.
Right. I don't
Okay,
know.
but it is a cross-dressing Iron Man.
Oh, see, that is where
Very
it turns
weird.
evil. It's
What
just,
the
it's just
world?
wrong and unholy.
Yeah, exactly.
why-
All right, John.
all right,
It's
John,
just
you're
when
up.
Pepper Potts is wearing the suit. That's all.
All right,
right?
you're up.
Yeah,
You're up.
see?
All right.
Oh, that's right. That's
let's
right.
see.
See?
Ooh, let's see. This one is a good one. Everybody see it? All right, here we go, Dan.
Batman.
I see.
I'll get the camera in there on it for you.
Oh, baby.
hold
wow.
that up.
Unbelievable. Can you guys see what we are dealing with
I'll
here?
zoom it. Hold it up a little higher for me.
This is
There it is.
Dan. This is a. Oh wow! It's a creature, I would say,
Creature.
and
Sorts.
it.
Right.
I think you might say that some people that resemble Shane Jones are spread around on there. Oh wait, can I say that? Sorry. And actually, someone is dying right now.
Wait, what? Is that Shane?
Someone
calling
is
you? Just do not do
probably
this to
is.
me.
Sorry, Shane.
Right.
So it is a creature. Someone could be dying, and there are little people.
There are little people.
Yes.
There are little people.
Yes. And there's
There are little people
several,
dying. Some kind of creature and
several
little
of
people
them.
dying.
They may have hats.
They may have had.
Yes.
I'm probably gonna get this wrong.
What do you think, Dan? Is he telling the
Yeah,
truth or not?
I think John is lying.
I'm lying?
Hold it up.
I'm lying?
Oh man, that's like the gnome.
Why is there one in his mouth? Why is he
He's
eating
eating
them?
it. He's also got one underneath his foot. Check out underneath his foot.
Why is
Look at this.
he eating it?
I don't know.
A souvenir.
Lauren's parents got it for
Is that
for
in your
Colton. I have
house?
no idea. Oh yeah, that's Colton's.
That
That's
is
Colton's?
awesome.
That is Colton's. He got it for Christmas from his grandparents. So yes, that is a T-Rex eating yard
That
gnome.
is awesome.
That's his yard.
Big
All right.
mouth, big mouth made
Was
in
that
China.
the one that you wanted us
All
to
right, grab
get?
another one. Yeah, I wanted to make sure someone described that. All right, Dan.
All right, I'm winning, right? 2-0.
Yeah, you said he was telling the truth, so you got that one right. He got it wrong when he said you were lying. All right, open it up so we can see it. Let's see it. Let's see
Is
it.
this even real?
Make sure to hold it up high. Yep. Here we go.
Is that what?
Okay, I'm zooming in on it here.
Why would you do that to an animal?
I can't really focus.
That is what? No. This.
What do we got
this-
there, Dan?
This is. He is a king. Of sorts. There may be a lollipop involved. What is that? Ooh, it's part of a collection. Part of a collection.
So I heard the lollipop part. What else? What do we got here?
Lollipop,
Part of
a
a
king
collection.
of sorts,
A king of
part of a
sorts with a
collection, and a
lollipop?
lollipop's involved.
It's
I'm thinking of like
there
King
could
of
be-
Hearts
it
with a
could-
lollipop
just
stuck
like
to
a
it.
tiger. I think they might have gotten it with the Tiger King collection. I don't know, but it could be a tiger.
I've never watched Tiger King. Just gonna throw that out there.
I haven't either. I don't plan to waste my time on it.
I say you are a bag of lies, Dan Bryant.
Hold it up there. Hold up. That is a white tiger with a surgical mask on. That's a lie. That's a lie.
There's no lollipop.
Where was the king and the lollipop?
No
What does that
lollipop and
have
no
to do
king.
with
The white tiger, aren't the tigers the king of the
lion's the
jungle?
king of
That's
the jungle.
lions.
Oh man,
And
That is a sack of lies for sure. John is slaying you.
John is getting me.
All right, John, grab another bag.
You
We
look
got
to the
time for
left.
one
All right,
bag.
one more.
This will be the last one. Do you think I can redeem myself?
Ooh,
I don't
I
know.
don't know. You're struggling.
This is horrible.
We'll see.
All right, here we go. Man, this
I feel
one's
like Jimmy Fallon
this
every
one's
time he does this.
taped and stapled. What in the world?
Taped and
All right,
stapled?
all right, here
is
we
it
go.
heavy or is it light?
Don't know. All right.
Still, Iron Man.
Wait, is this part of it?
No, no.
Okay.
No.
All right. Ooh, exquisite.
All right, hold that up a little bit.
This.
Exquisite.
Wait, hold it a
Now,
little higher. A little higher.
this is. Can everybody see that?
It's hard. It's a little blurry. A little blurry.
That is amazing.
It's amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
You can see it.
What
All
do we
right.
got? What do we got there?
So-
Iron Man, look for me.
so
Can you tell me what
Dan-
it is?
Here we go. All right, so I will say this is a toy that girls would love. It has to do with decorating
Excuse me.
or possibly baking, but it's
Now I'm hungry.
it's twisted. There's
Twisted?
something
Is it the Twizzlers?
not
we did
right.
earlier, or
No,
Tootsie
no. There's something like very wrong about this item,
wrong.
and I can't put my finger on it, but it's
Would you want to put your
demented.
finger
It's
on
demented.
it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is it like, is it that
no,
far?
you would not. You would not want to
Ugh.
put your finger on this.
Ugh.
I don't know what else I can say about it.
So it's demented. So it's demon form. It's demonic.
No, I didn't say
Man,
that.
this just ran.
Demented is
Oh,
not the same thing as what?
It's little girls like it. It can cook stuff, so it's like messed up. You are telling the truth.
I am most certainly not telling the truth.
Hey, sometimes
That is
I like that.
It's
That is
teenage-
Raphael.
That's awesome. Santa Claus Raphael.
Is Raphael
Or is
Ninja
it-
Turtle
I
dressed
totally
up
failed
as
this.
Santa Claus?
Or is that definitely Raphael
It
or
is
Donatello?
Raphael.
All right,
Man.
Raphael
you know
dressed
the
as Santa Claus.
difference.
Now we're gonna leave these right here. While you now Iron Man is gonna tame the white tiger.
There we go. Oh man,
right.
yeah, that was interesting. I'll show you just for fun. Show you some of the other items that we had. You could have potentially have grabbed.
Could have potentially grabbed.
I really
Right.
wanted somebody to try and describe this.
Oh my goodness gracious! What is that?
Oh,
So
What?
this
Is that yours?
this
You were
is some
child?
kind of toy my kids got for Christmas. I don't know what this.
Oh, man.
I don't know how to
It's
describe
like a
this thing.
Furby knockoff
man.
or something.
Yeah. I think they call them Hatchimals or something.
Oh.
So that was one. Another one. We have a lot of really weird Christmas ornaments. So here you go. It's a sparkly peacock.
Awesome.
So you can learn something about us with this. My family, Lauren and I, since the first year we were married, have been collecting crazy, off-the-wall, weird Christmas ornaments. So every year, my family gets us something really goofy and weird. And so
John, Olivia called you
here's
out
another
and
one
said,
right
"Stop
here.
being
Here's
weird."
another one, in fact. Here's another one.
Wait.
That is a hula dancing cow.
Hula
Do
dancing
these
cow?
go on
That
your
would've been
actual
awesome.
tree,
Yeah,
or is
they
this like the
absolutely do.
tree that goes in the
Oh
room
no,
that no
they
one
go on
goes
the tree.
into? Are you-
This
No
is
way.
well, we now have two trees
Okay.
though. So my wife
You have a
has her-
classy tree, and then the.
My wife has her classy tree in the entrance, and then the kids in the family room, we go crazy on this one. So yes, there's some of the fun stuff from my house.
Awesome. This is awesome. I've never seen anything like the T-Rex eating the gnomes.
The T-Rex eating the gnomes, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. All right, great. So back to the topic at hand, Jesus, right? So We're talking again about creating a competition in your house. We're out serving one another, outdoing each other in love and honor, that kind of thing. That's God's way. So what I want to ask you is, I want you to share for a couple minutes. First question is that when we're in the youth group, I talk to the teens, I talk to you guys a lot about this thing I learned at Fidelity in sales is WIFM, W-I-I-F-M. What's in it for me? So, we want you to understand that, hey, God's way is, obviously there's a submission in a role that we must follow because of our position. God is God, right? But there's many blessings that come with it. God rewards us for following him. So we want you to understand sometimes that, hey, there's good stuff in this for you if you do follow. So I want to start with that. If we take our homes and flip them on their heads and say we're going to compete in love and try to outdo one another, what's in it for these teens? What do you think they're going to receive as a result of living this way?
Okay, so I bounced some ideas off my wife because she has the best ideas about how to think about some of these topics, and then some
my wife has
ideas,
all the good ideas too
on my own. But so here's what we talked about, and I think sadly, so many of you guys, I hope many of you guys are not like this, but many teens feel like their parents are trying to just put them in a box and lock them up and not let them have, we're the no fun league, right? Where the parents are the no fun league for the teens. And a problem that we have, experienced, and again, I've got two in college, an 8th grader and a 4th grader, right? So we've got the gamut of life stages and whatnot. But, things that we've experienced is our older kids and even our younger kids sometimes, they'll come with an attitude that I already know everything there is to know about this situation, this decision, this life event, this whatever it is at the time, right? You lost me completely? Yeah. Oh.
There you go, you're back.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I hope you didn't lose me the whole time.
Put your glasses on the table.
Okay, I got you. And the thing is, you were talking about being conditioned from like birth, basically, to get your own way, right? Yeah. And a lot of times, teens, and I understand, it's been decades ago now since I was a teen, obviously, but I remember literally that mindset that I know better than my parents, and I don't need their advice, I don't need their guidance, I don't need their boundaries. And the thing is, what I wish teens would understand is we as parents, we want to see you guys succeed. We want to see our children succeed and serve the Lord, honor him with their lives. The reasons that we put boundaries, the reasons that we give advice, give guidance, give the things that we give, is because we want you to succeed. Why would we do those things to have you fall flat on your face? And so I hope that the teens would see that when the next time you feel that welling up inside of you that I know better, I already know everything there is to know about this situation, take a step back and think, hey, maybe my parents truly have my best interest at heart, and maybe they do truly want to see me succeed and honor the Lord with my life and succeed as a Christian, as an individual, as a part of this world that we live in, and put those selfish interests away. Yeah, we're going to say no sometimes when you ask to go someplace with someone, so-and-so, whatever. Okay, well, think about what are the reasons why we might say that. What are the reasons why we might put a boundary or put a restriction on that? And think about it from that regard rather than thinking, I know best, I already know everything there is to know. And you know what, when our teens have come with that attitude, our kids have come with that attitude, we then begin a partnership to move toward a common goal, right? So we are investing in our kids and want them to grow up and live and serve the Lord and succeed in life, right? It doesn't become this. There's no longer this constant like battle of who's going to prevail, right? These two personalities, or two, titans coming together, and one's going to win out in the end. No,
Yeah.
it becomes a partnership, and as you guys mature as teens and get older and through, later into high school and stuff, you'll realize, hey, mom and dad, let me bounce this off mom and dad and see what they think about it. I have an idea I want to pursue. I want to take this career path, or maybe think about this career path. Let me talk with mom and dad, help them to give me some guidance. They know that we have your best interest at heart, and just accept and consider the guidance that we offer. And in that way, you're humbling yourself to accept that advice, to accept those boundaries, to accept those restrictions, making the relationship between parents and kids better. And the whole home is there's peace in the home, honestly, when you have that. So.
That's great. So first thing John outlines is in it for you is when you come into a place of submission and humility to honor the position of your parents, and that's a good. We're talking about honor in the way of, we can use that term service, but there's two parts of this. We talked about serving each other as well as just humility and honoring and ascribing value to somebody. Yeah. So when you disrespect your parents and refuse to follow them, rebel, or just make snide faces at them, or avoid them, or roll your eyes, all that kind of stuff is just it's decreasing their value in your eyes, like, right? So honoring them, as God said, honor your father and your mother. So that's the first way you can do that, is honoring your parents and their position, and understanding that they have your best at heart. So you can have a home where you're at peace with your parents, and you can get on the same team, and you can align in the same direction, and together you can find the best path for your life. God's going to honor that, I promise you, because He promises you that He will. He says, "I'll give you a long life." Even He said, and the wisdom of following your parents will give you a long life. Sure. There's so much peace, harmony, wisdom, and mistakes that will be avoided, right? And your strongest, most loving teammate on your side together, right? Really, really powerful. Yeah. Really good. One thing I saw too is, we mentioned this earlier, that God says, hey, when you humble yourself, I'll exalt you in due time. Yeah. You know that when you humbly submit and you serve one another, God says, stop looking out for yourself. I will look out for you. You leave that up to me. Yeah. I know how to give you better things than you know how to give yourself. And even if the rewards in heaven someday, He promises there will be eternal rewards for that.
Yeah, that's right. No, you just said that, and I looked up this verse ahead of time. It's Proverbs 22:4. I encourage you guys, and I know we've said it many times, read a proverb a day. Pick the day of the month. Start with that proverb and read through the book of Proverbs each month. I know Pastor does that. He's mentioned it several times. But Proverbs 22:4, true humility and fear of the Lord lead to riches, honor, and long life. I mean, it's exactly what we were just talking about. Yeah. True humility, right? And you put that into practice in the family unit, and it becomes, like you said, it's a competition. Who can outserve the other? Yeah. And it results in peace, love, just uniting and bonding that home together.
There you go. The very thing that we want and crave so badly, and we sometimes even demand from our parents, we can earn. Yeah. Right, and we can feed into. And one thing I always try to encourage you guys with Proverbs too, something that hit me as an adult, is like, listen, that's not it doesn't promise you do this, poof, this happens, right? It's not that simple. It's not a genie bottle. But I think the beauty of that is he says it's wisdom leads to those things. It leads to them. Right. And sometimes it's just common sense of just worldly wisdom of just saying, hey, you do this, good things tend to happen. Yeah. There's so much wisdom in that. So yeah, it's John's not saying there's a genie bottle that poof, you're going to be wealthy. So when that doesn't happen, things don't go your way, don't give up on it, because that's not what it's promising. Sure. What it's saying is it leads to those things, and
we talked about exalting you in due time, and this to me, riches doesn't mean, and Solomon explained in Ecclesiastes, all the riches in the world are not going to make you happy. It's futility, basically, right?
Absolutely.
So when I think of riches, I think abundant life, and then eventually spending eternity with Christ. So abundant life here, abundant eternal life when we're spending eternity with Him in heaven.
So good. And I think the greatest rewards that we lose sight of, the best reward we could ever get in heaven is going to be the people that we are there because we told them about Jesus, or they lived a better life and can tell us thank you because of the impact we made on them. What better gift is there than that, than to see somebody else that you changed their life? So let's do this. Let's hit on one last thing, and then we'll hit to our Zoom groups where you guys can talk more about this point here. Is the how? Okay, so you're great. You're saying this is God's way. God promises to honor that way. Okay, so God promises me eternal blessing. God promises me abundant life and gives me peace, gives me harmony. I get a teammate. I get strength in my home. I get peace. I get wisdom. I get all these great things, right? So this is a great thing. So it's like, well, great, but how do I do that? Sometimes it's hard when you try to put it down to it. You try to honor somebody else and they don't receive it well, or they, don't trust that it comes from good motives, or they don't respond and do what you want them in response. It's easy to give up, right? So what are some practical ways? I want to tackle this 2 ways. One, what are some things we can put our hands in action? What are some things we can do to serve our people, the family in our home? And the second leg of that is, how do we get our heart to be in it, right? And keep our heart humble and keep our heart serving so we don't grow bitter doing that. So did you think of anything specific, couple of ideas?
All right, so I want to tell a story about the first part, and then I might leave the heart part to you, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
All right. So I got to tell this story because, and I'm not trying to brag on him or my kid or anything like that. I don't want you guys to feel like that's what it is, because it's not. But our youngest daughter, Alexa, she's 10. She's been like suddenly taking a liking to baking, so she's like baking cakes and cookies and everything. And the amazing thing is she does it like completely on her own, like from start to finish, ingredients, everything, even cleaning up. She does it on her own, right? So
you can send her to our house for a little bit if you want. Hang out with Riley. They can bake together.
Yeah, I'm like, quarantine 20 at our but
anyway. That's right. Keep her. That's a good point.
But so she was with my wife, and they were visiting a family friend who owns a salon near us, and that she was getting ready to open her salon for the first time after the lock. It was the first day. The next day they were going to be allowed to open, right? And she's like running around like stressed out big time because there were so many things that she had to make sure they abide by the regulations and all that kind of stuff. Well, it happened to be her birthday that day, the lady that owns the salon, right? My daughter and Tammy go and they visit, and I think my wife was picking up something from her or something, and she could tell. They walked in, and I think even Alexa asked, "Is like, what's wrong?" She could tell she was just down, right? Probably the stress, whatever. Plus, it's her birthday. She's having to work her butt off to get ready and all this stuff. And they go home, and Alexa thinks, "What can I do to brighten her day?" So she goes home, bakes like an entire batch of chocolate chip cookies, right? And they go get some balloons and flowers, take it back to the salon, bring her the cookies, just something to brighten her day. And this lady, she just like broke down and started like crying and just like, because it was a simple act to show of service, of a servant's heart, showing love to somebody. And this is from a 10-year-old. So you guys that are 13, 14, 18, sometimes I think you guys might think, well, what can I do? I'm just a teenager, right? Well, start in your home. What does it look like to have a servant's heart in your home? Well, some of the things I think of is like, when it's 11 o'clock at night, everybody's staying up too late anyway because nobody's doing schoolwork until 11 a.m., right? And the sink is full of dirty dishes, right? Well, everybody's tired. Nobody wants to do it. Take it on yourself to do the dishes. Load the dishwasher, wash the dishes, whatever. The trash is overflowing. Take the trash out. Any things that just show love, no matter how small or how huge they are. Just take it upon yourself to show love, and then I can see how, especially with younger kids, it can be a competition, because the next day, mom or dad or somebody wakes up and says, "Wow, who did the dishes?" And the person that did it, they barely want to take credit for it because they did it out of love and service, right? And they get this honor by one of the parents or whatever. And then suddenly the other kids say, "Hey, wow, that was cool, right? I'd like to have some of that, pat on the back sometimes." And it becomes contagious in your household just to serve one another. Put someone's preference or prefer someone else above yourself. You can sit
Prefer
there
to
on
defer.
your phone. Yeah, prefer to defer. I mean, you can sit there and scroll on your phone for 2 hours, or take 15 minutes, do something that's a servant act, and see how it feels. And the thing is with my daughter, my 10-year-old, and I think everybody in the family would say this, she is the most joyful kid by far, right? And I think it's because she does these acts of service. When she does it, she delights in it because she knows that she's doing it for someone else. She's being a servant to someone else, and that's what grows in your. And I think that kind of plays into what you're talking about, your true heart, your motive for it, right? If you're just doing it because you out of duty or something like that,
because you want to get something in return.
Yeah,
that's like when they say like do it from like a child's perspective, because
Yeah.
children get like they're so excited about almost everything they do.
Exactly.
And it's like that's what they call us to be, like
Right.
helping out, whether it's our neighbors or that friend of your guys. It's just being
Yeah.
out there helping those that are not need assistance or something right now, or
Yeah.
those that have been stuck at home, or definitely those that have been hurt from the business time frame, because there's a lot out there
Exactly.
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, do it if it comes from a true heart, you can sustain that servant action, right? But if
Right.
it comes out of duty or obligation, looking for a reward in the short term, it's not going to last, right? You'll get bitter about it in no time.
Yeah.
And then, what you were saying is God will exalt in due time, right? And those servant acts done out of a true heart, you're laying treasures in heaven up for yourself, right?
Right.
In those acts that are done out of a true motive and a true heart.
And as you say, you will have a more abundant life for sure, because your heart will be so much better.
Yeah.
Here's going to be my. You mentioned putting the hard part or the heart part on me. This is what I thought. Okay, simple thing. In fact, I gave this advice to my daughter, my 9-year-old, this morning. So, commit yourself to daily Bible reading and daily prayer. Okay, but here's what I told her. Start every day by talking to God and thanking Him for something specific. Thank Him for His grace to you. Thank Him that He died on the cross for you. Thank Him that you have heaven waiting for you. Thank Him for your family, whatever. Get on your knees and do two things. Thank Him and submit to Him. Do it in the morning and do it at night. Yeah, I said, I start your day. If you start every day with gratitude, understanding the depth of God's grace to you, that we don't deserve anything He's given us, and thanking God for all of it came from Him, nothing due to us. And we submit to say, God, help my attitude and my actions and my spirit and my heart to please you today, right? Start every day on your knees in submission, doing those, and read God's word and let Him speak to you. You do that, it's going to change your attitude throughout the day. And then at the end of the day, as you lay in bed at night, think back over the day and say, how did I do? And talk to God about it. Talk to God and say, I did a really bad job today. I'm sorry for that. Help me do better tomorrow. Or say, you know what, God? Hey, I had a great day today. Thank you for helping me do it. Thank you for this, whatever. And if you start every day and end every day like that, that's going to keep your heart in the right place, humble, because humility is what it takes to serve and honor others over yourself.
Awesome.
So, all right, we're going to get into our Zoom groups. Special announcement. Dan has a special announcement. Oh, I have a special announcement. Oh, yes, I have a special. Oh, okay, sorry. So next week we'll have another guest, and it'll be a very special guest. You're going to hear straight from your pastor, Pastor Brent Snook, next week. So he'll be sitting across the table from me next week. You guys hear him preach. Was that
Eggs?
Yeah, I told him. I said I'm cooking up some game for you. He said I'm sure that you are. So maybe you guys can send in some requests for things you want to see Pastor do. We'll do the thing where you play war. And every time you lose, the other person gets to splash you in the face with a cup of water.
Oh, man.
No. Lauren, I asked about that game tonight, and Lauren said that's a stupid game.
Pastor
So you
would
can
love
think
that.
about
Probably
I
not a
think
good
Pastor
game to
would
play
win.
with your boss, I don't think,
No.
right?
It's not a good game to play
So
with
you
probably
let
much of
him
anybody. No, Pastor will be here next week. You guys hear him preach all the time about a number of things, but so rarely does he speak directly to you. And that's what I want him to talk about, talk to you guys in perspective of teens, and how can you It's like one of the most godly men I've ever met. So humble, so compassionate, so gracious, loving, and so wise and so strong. He's a great, great, great man, and you guys can hear directly from him next week. So do not miss that. Be here for it and hear some great wisdom. So we're going to break up into our Zoom groups. I'm going to get the meeting going right now, and you guys will use the same information that you've been using. If you do not have it, contact me or Dan or John. Any of us will get you the login information. But let's go ahead and get this thing started. We'll shut down the live feed. We'll start up Zoom, and we will see you guys there so that you can connect with your